Let me zhuzh out the beard a little bit. Oh, hey, what's going on, Banger TV? It's Connor, and I am back. And it's not an overkill review. It's my end-of-year roundup of 2024. And I'm not doing 10. I'm doing a Connor dozen. That's 12 and 2 EPs. Let's get going here. But before that, Fuzzy Buzz put out some great records. Black Absinthe. We did that record this year. On Cool Vinyl, we did a Splatter and a Black. That's out on our website. We got 4 copies left. And then Nightmares in the Afternoon, we got that on the website as well. 2 amazing records. But the reason why we're here is this top 10, or the Connor dozen. So let's get going. There were so many amazing records this year. Like, it's a laundry list. Like, you know, there's probably like 30, 40 records that I really love. But I'm only doing a Connor 12 here, a little Baker dozen. But before we get into the top 12 of mine, we're going to shout out 2 amazing EPs. So the first one, it's Fangus, Meet the Reaper, and that's on From Near, and that's about like 4 or 5 songs. I made a really great cassette on that. Montreal band, members of Luger and Sons of Arrakis, totally rock, and you got to check that out. And the next EP that I am mentioning, this is probably one of my all-time favorite bands right now. The band is called Lover, and they are from Calgary, and the EP is called Fatal Attraction. That is my #1 EP of this year. These 2 songs are absolutely heavy rock and roll slingers, and you got to check that out. Both of those covers are right here beside me. All right, the EPs are done. Let's go into these top 12, shall we? This is the Connor top 12, the Stoner dozen. And this is a lot of stoner doom psych, no country, no pop, just going into the nitty gritty. At number 12, we have White Dog, Double Dog Dare on Rise Above Records.
That's my holy fortune and the powers that span. On my back I bear the burden of 100,000 men. Call the blind man blindly. Bloody cheek comes rolling out the wall. On the wings of the high-flying MP. You know the same will save us all.
This is a very hard rock record. You know, this is just pure Texas boogie rock and roll. This record has a really cool radio sound on it as well, a couple songs in. It sounds amazing on my stereo. You guys got to really sip that one up. I wish that I could have get these guys in my top 10, but there's just so many amazing records. At number 11, we have Sons of Arrakis Volume 2, and that is on Black Throne Production. Sons of Arrakis, Montreal hard rock band. They sort of coined the genre of dune rock. They're definitely dune-inspired rock and rollers. This has been on everybody's top 5. It is an unbelievable record. These guys are taking over Canada and taking over this genre of music. You really got to sip that one up. At number 10, we have, I guess you could say, Toronto and Kingston hard rockers. The band called Familiars, and the album is called Easy Does It. I'm good friends with the bassist Jared, and he likes to coin that Familiars are Kansas hard rock. And that's all I'm going to say. This new record is really great. The cover, as you could see here, is a beautiful cover. The music is something that they've really never done before. And they have lap steel. And I love lap steel. At number 9, this probably was one of my favorite live performances this year. Castle Rat, and the album is called Into the Realm. And that is on King Volume Records. The album is mystical, the live performance is addicting, and these guys are really, again, they're taking over this entire scene. The fantasy mixed with doom and the theatrics in the live performance just blends so well, and it makes it so much fun. Causa at number 9. At number 8, we have another Canadian band. I don't know. I don't think you guys see a theme here. Freeways and Dark Sky Sanctuary on Dying Victims Productions.
Crawling on all fours, clambering to see in the dark sky sanctuary. In the dark sky sanctuary. In the dark sky sanctuary.
Freeways, another one of my all-time favorite bands. They have some amazing, amazing tunes as well. This album is just amazing. Like, just check out this cover here, man. Who wants to be at a cabin and listen to this amazing hard rock? I know I do. And number 7, if you know me, you know I love my instrumental rock and roll. So number 7, we have Causa, and the album is called From the Source. And that is on their own record label, El Paraso Records. Instrumental rock is my favorite. Some of my favorite music by Causa are their summer sessions 1 to 3. Check that out. But this new record here, it sort of reminds me of those summer sessions. They're just sticking to what they know, and I love that. And this album is like really good for baking. It's good for studying. It's good for even barbecuing. And if you're doing any of those things, you should listen to this record. At number 6, oh man. Heavy Trip, Liquid Planet. It's a self-release. Check out this cover. Eric Roper did it. And Eric Roper is an all-time legend from Arctic to Sleep and many more. Heavy Trip, sort of like the Vancouver Earthless, but a bit more gritty, maybe way more acid. These guys really rock, and they're a bunch of skaters, and I love skateboarding. So you guys got to check that one out. At number 5, this was actually mentioned in my last review. This is Ian Blurton, Future Now, and Crimes of the City, and that is on Pajama Party Records. Sir Ian Blurton, the twin guitar wizard, basically the king of the Toronto hard rock scene, maybe even the king of the Canadian hard rock scene. Ian Blurton's a legend. All of his bands are legendary. Ian Blurton Future Now is, I guess you could call it a super group of some amazing Canadian musicians. And this album is just screaming of twin guitar, Thin Lizzy worship. And at number 4, we're going all the way to Nova Scotia here, actually Cape Breton, and these are my boys, Conductor, and that is a self-titled record, and that is on Saturn Eye Records. Nova Scotian hard rock, man. What more could you ask for? The drummer looks like Bobby Caldwell of Captain Beyond. You know, this cover is great. The music on this record is unbelievable. The live performance is killer. And they got a new one coming out hopefully next year. And you really gotta wait and see that, because that's nuts. I've already heard a couple tunes from that and they rock. Conductor are my boys. That's an easy number 4 for me. And now we're in our top 3. And we have mentioned a lot of Canadian bands, and there's no stopping with my number 3. At number 3, we have Montreal Mushroom hard rockers with Hazehound, and the album is called Macrodose. Here's the cover, and that's on also From the Urn. This whole album was recorded on mushrooms. That's all I need to say, and you need to check this out. And this cover, look at this cover. A lot of you guys know this special treat. Yeah, and it's not a mushroom, I know. But yeah, mushrooms, rock and roll, Montreal, Hazehounds, Macrodose, that's all you need. So these next two, my number 2 and number 1, they were tough. It was really hard to put these down because both of these records are so amazing. And I would say that number 2 and number 1 are most likely the same thing. Hey guys, you got to hear what I have right now. At number 2, Sacri Monti Retrieval on TP Records. That thing was on consistent and constant repeat in our house, man. That record is just so psychedelic rock and roll. The last 2 songs on the B-side are some of my favorite tunes this year. Sacri Monti are coming to town with Elder in the new year, and you really got to check that out. Sacri Monti are amazing rock and rollers from California, and there's nothing more than you want than going swimming. Maybe we could also be baking. Maybe we could be walking our dogs and listening to this record. It's an amazing one. And at number 1, do you have any guesses? I did a full review on this. The Obsessed Gilded Sorrow on Ripple Music. An absolute no-brainer.
Seems to confine, seems to resign no fear. Realize I'm gonna fly, live in the sky, Lord, it won't die. Fly high, live in the sky, Lord, it won't die.
Wino is back, and Wino is back with a second guitarist. And that second guitarist, Jason, is an unbelievable dude, unbelievable guitarist. And this album it just makes me so happy. Finally, Wino has an amazing guitarist by his side, on his right hand, complementing all of the riffs that Wino is doing. Jason is backing all of that up. This album was just unbelievable. Some of the heaviest stuff I've heard this year. And it was just an absolute no-brainer move for me to make that number 1. And that wraps up Connor's Baker's Dozen of Top 12 with 2 EPs. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. 2025 is already starting off crazy. Some really wild releases are coming out. Pentagram, they got a new record, and I would love to talk to you guys about that when it comes out. So I'll see you then. Boogie on, season's greetings. Say hi to your parents for me. Say hi to your loved ones for me. Watch this with your loved ones and say, hey man, that guy's listening to good music.